time, where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the Powerslams pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslams show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslams show. Turn it up.
Episode 552. I think so. Check in with my bros and my sisters. Yo, here we go. I think we at 552. But you know who is on the mic. It's Dr. Chris. With the P&P fam. P&P fam. We live Tuesday night in the U.S. I'm from Ohio, Eastern Time, 11:48. We staying up late. 11:48. We staying up late. P&P every week. This is what we do. We shake and bake. I tell a day. Good nights. We racing. Spacing. We going out of spacing. Chasing the dream like dusty road, baby, the dream. We in public, if you will. Let's chill. 552 P&P fam, but you know who? Dr. C with the family, cause the P&P, that's what we do every week. I start off with a freestyle. That's what I do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm not there. Cause you better beware. Oh, the P&P with the family with Dr. C. 522, 553, 552. I don't know who. Whatever episode we on now, it's okay. It's we chillin'. Wow. P&P style. Yo, with the crowd. The best chat in the business. Yo, P&P chat is chillin'. Yo. What's going on, everybody, man? Yo. What's up? Man, listen. Man, those freestyles make me think, bro. And sis, listen, those freestyles, it's already almost midnight. And a day full of therapy and a show before this. And then I've done this thing with y'all now where I just pull a freestyle. I'm not even good at freestyling. But hey, look, if I'm going to continue to freestyle and continue to do it, I'm going to do it on P&P. And then eventually when I have my brain isn't as fried, I'll be more fluid with my freestyle. But I enjoy it. I never I never admitted to or never confessed to be the most prolific freestyler, but listen, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna do what I do, baby, because that's what we do here in PNP. It's a vibe, it's an atmosphere. We chill, we have a lot of fun as we do every single week. And without being said, let's get into these hashtag Ask Doc questions. And I'm gonna talk about how much I cannot stand Raw, man. Raw's just horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. What's up, Ricky in the building? Is that the second time you've interviewed Ricardo? Yes, it has. It is. It's the second time I've interviewed Ricardo Rodriguez. The last time I interviewed him was, I think, in January of 2017, so almost 6 years ago. The Rockstars on NXT. Yes, I did see that. I didn't see NXT, but I did see the information. I did see that to the news. It popped up in my Facebook that Ava Rain was the new member of the Schism, I think, or something like that. I think is that Joe Gacy's new deal with GYV. Um, I have no idea how that formed. I don't know, but I saw that she was in a mask, and then by the end of the deal, she unmasked, and it was her. So a lot of people don't like it because they feel like for someone that star power of Ava Rain, potential star power of Ava Rain, like it's the Rock starter. Why are you putting her in such a mid card group? I don't watch NXT enough to know if they're a mid card group. I'm totally fine with her starting in NXT. Totally fine with that, but it looks like she's playing a heel. Very interesting. Black Adam, number one movie in the world, making The Rock even bigger. Are you going to watch it? Yes, I am going to watch it. Definitely in my to-do list coming up here soon. I know Vince Russo is a great friend of yours. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he buries Raw weekly. Last night wasn't great, far better than a year ago, but still not great. In my opinion, Vince ruined WCW pole matches and making himself champion. It clearly doesn't make TNA better. It got fired by WWE. Okay, well, you have your you definitely have your um right to feel how you want about Vince Russo. Um so I think with comments like this, and Ricky, you're my guy, man. You support this show, one of the most biggest supporters of this show. So I'm saying this with the utmost respect for you, and your supporting the show. Listen, I'm not here to defend Vince Russo. He has become a friend, a dear friend, super nice guy. Look, man, he got hired to be a television guy. Um, he was able to boost ratings everywhere he went, and the things that he did was not um it was not meant for hardcore fans. It was not well received by hardcore fans, but it did boost viewership. And if he gets hired as a television writer, like he's getting hired for a reason. Like he can't get hired as a television writer to be a booker. That's not his job. He got hired to be a television writer. So that's what he's doing. He's doing his job. I'm not this catch can booker. I'm writing television. That's what he got. That's legitimately what he got hired on to be in those companies. So, hey, if he got hired in to be a television writer and he boosts ratings, that's a success. So, and he actually did make TNA better, technically, because the ratings were higher when Russo was there. Now, do I agree with everything Vince Russo does and did? No, I don't actually. I actually wasn't the biggest fan of the Attitude Era as a whole. I wasn't a big fan of just a bunch of title swaps all the time. I wasn't a big fan of that. But at the same time, and understanding 25 years later, now knowing Vince Russo well and understanding the mind and the mentality behind what he did, I I understand why he did it. I don't necessarily agree, but I totally understand why he did what he did, and so I can respect that. You know what I mean? So now, since I understand why the mentality, like he wasn't going into those companies of like, oh man, I can't stand wrestling. Let me be that person who just implodes the businesses from the inside. No, let me. I'm hired to. Uh, I know that more ratings is going to give me more money, and that's how they were paid back then. And so, hey, let's get more ratings. And so, let's expose more eyes to the product, and that's what businesses would want anyway. So, under, it's one of those things. One of those things. So, um, how about the Titans? Elvis. You know, Elvis. It's interesting because Malik Willis was barely, but he was in. He was in the game versus Indy. We beat Indy again, but he was in. Tannehill was, he had to step out for a hiccup and brought in Malik Willis in. Here's the thing: first half wasn't impressed. We just ended up kicking up a bunch of field goals. Our red zone conversions weren't that good. Second half better. Derrick Henry still was doing a fantastic job running. And guess what? We went from 0-2 to now leading the AFC South. 4 straight. I believe we have the Texans on Sunday at 4 o'clock, 4:05, one of those deals. I believe we have the Texans. So it's a good chance that we'll be winning 5 straight after being 0-2. What a difference a month makes. And we are one of the hottest teams in the NFL, winning 4 straight games, now leading the division. So go Titans. Tighten up. Uh, Lexi's in the building. You mentioned weeks ago that the Nikki Cross character would be coming back. I did. How about that? Any additional information you can share? I heard some things with her and Dewdrop. I'm not sure as far as Dewdrop's coming back, but I did mention. I said it's exclusive information on the future of Nikki Ash, and I mentioned the exclusive information here over a month ago. Okay, and so when I'm telling you that's an exclusive information, I'm telling you the truth. I also told you I had some exclusive information about Bray's return. It was supposed to be a Clash of the Castle. It didn't happen that way. But people were like, "Oh, Bray's not returning." Well, Bray's, and then at Extreme Rules, guess what happens? Bray returns. How about that? How about that? Uh, Michael was definitely the writers making Raw so bad. Hard to believe they staffed 25 and can't get a good show. Vince Russo used to do it by himself. Well, he did it with Ed Ferrara as well, but I get your point. So, you know, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Actually, Ricky, he didn't get fired by WWE. He actually left WWE because he wanted to spend time with his family, and he was told that he needs to put everything aside in his life except for the company. And he said that he didn't want to do that because he has a whole family, and um, and he left. Same thing with why Jay Cargill didn't get signed because they wanted them to put everything. They wanted her to put everything in the back burner, and she said, no, I have a whole daughter." And so you have to understand, people WWE wants them to, like, they want the wrestlers, every single wrestler and talent, to make WWE their life. And some people aren't built for that, and some people just don't want to do it. Just people just don't want to do it. You shouldn't make any job your life. I mean, that's terrible work-life balance. That's horrible self-care. And if you make your work your life, that's terrible. But yeah, to your point, Michael, here's the thing. This is I'll go into my rant now since we're talking about Raw. This is one of the I think for me, I think I have pinpointed why Raw so bad. And I think, there's many different I mean, there's several reasons why they're not building up stars really good. I think one of the biggest things is that they're not very character driven anymore. They're more wrestling oriented. And, if it's the same types of wrestling matches or variations of the same wrestling matches, people are going to get tired of that. Which gets to my point of why they're so bad. You're having wrestling match after wrestling match after wrestling match after wrestling match for 3 hours. It's too long. Raw, one of the biggest reasons why Raw is so bad, and it dropped 160,000 viewers in 1 week's time, guys. And went from a 1.8 to a 1.64. Hear me when I say, listen to what I just said. Raw, a 1.64. A 1.64. Last week was a 1.8. Man, that's not good, man. That's not good. A 1.64, that's not good, man. And people always say, "Oh, it's the NFL." Come on with that nonsense. That's nonsense. If that's, I mean, NFL was going on 25 years ago during the Attitude Era when they were getting sixes and fours and fives. Like, come on. Like, you know, spare me with that Monday Night Football nonsense because they were getting 3 to 4 easily every week, 3 to 4 more viewers 25 years ago during the Vince Russo era, by the way, than they do now. So spare me with all the other stuff as far as like the reason why they're getting so low numbers. They're getting so low numbers because people aren't interested in the product nearly as much. It's become more niche and it's long. Think about it this way, guys. Okay. Episodic television. All right. That's what WWE Raw is supposed to be. They don't even like calling themselves wrestlers. They don't call themselves wrestling. They call themselves sports entertainment. Sports entertainment. It's what they call themselves. Okay. Here's the issue. It's not entertaining because there's not characters for us to buy in, very strong characters. There's no big, star power people except for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Everybody else feels like a supporting cast. Everybody feels like a supporting cast except for Roman Reigns and Brock. And Edge is gone for a while. He's been written off. So right now you have the people who stand out, the standouts, which would be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and everybody else who's there. And Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar aren't there weekly. So everybody feels like a supporting cast. Now you have Bray on SmackDown, which would be interesting how they're doing with his character and how we are just kind of leaning in and seeing where that goes. I'm interested in that. But at the same time, like he just came back, so he's not. We don't even know what is going on with him right now. We can't call him a main eventer if we don't even know what his direction is. So, but although I'm very interested in his direction, we can't. We don't know. We don't know what's going on with him right now. So, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, they're basically part timers at this point. So everybody feels like a supporting cast. Now there are higher supporting cast, people like Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley, Sheamus, you know what I mean? Like those are higher names, but at the same time, they don't feel like none of the people I just said has an ability right now to transcend the business. Nobody, none of the people I just said, the supporting cast members. And here's the thing: I'm all for, making the characters work. But you have people singing during Seth Rollins' song, and he's a heel. You don't have Bobby Lashley there every week, and you're wanting to make him a top baby face. Come on, man. Like it's horrible. And the thing is, it's 3 hours. Now, if it was 2 hours, I'd still be critical of Raw. Raw's just bad. It's a bad product, man. It sucks. It sucks. And the problem with that is that it's hard for me to think otherwise when it remains 3 hours. I think that is the biggest problem with Raw is that it's 3 hours long. There's no intrigue. Everything just feels so dragged and stretched, and I lose interest because you have the same set people doing the same segments. You have Judgment Day out there 3 times. Either they're doing, 2 or 3 segments every single week. They're at the backstage a couple times. They do a run in. This person has a match when they're there. This person has a match when they're there. Like you're doing the same. Like the Judgment Day and Damage Control have multiple segments every week. Come on, man. Those two those two groups aren't strong enough to carry your flagship show. What are you doing here? What are you doing? And it's horrible, man. If it's such a drag, there would be like give us an element, suspend our disbeliefs, give us something to want, give us intrigue, give us a cliffhanger. It's hard to give cliffhangers when you're having when you have in the same group out there multiple times. They overstay their welcome. Raw overstays its welcome every week. It's like you come in for Thanksgiving dinner and then you stay the night. No, I didn't ask you to stay the night. I want you to come over for dinner. You're invited for dinner, eat away, have fun. Now it's time for you to go home. I don't want you here. Go home. You're overstaying your welcome here. And it feels like that every single week when it comes to Raw, man. It's like I'm a huge college football fan. Huge college football fan. Everybody knows. Big Ohio State mark. I'm a mark for Ohio State. I love, and not only Ohio State, I love college football. Right now, Hendon Hooker from Tennessee, he's battling with CJ Stroud as far as, who's going to win the Heisman. I can give you stat after stat after stat when it comes to college football because I love college football. College football is 3 hours long. I get excited because wins and losses matter. First of all, wins and losses matter. And every single time someone loses, that can change their whole trajectory of their entire season with one loss. Alabama was a playoff team. They were in the top three. They were in the top three. And, the top four is the playoffs, but they were in the top three. They lost to Tennessee. They dropped to 6th. Now the intrigue is, okay, Alabama could go into the playoffs if they win out. If they lose again, though, they're done. They're not going to be in the playoffs. That's intriguing because wins and losses matter. And on top of that, there's a halftime. So there's 20 minutes of halftime. And so it gives us a reset in the middle of the game to be able to get excited and have suspense toward the next half. If Ohio State's close to Penn State, they play Penn State this coming weekend. If they're close to Penn State, which I don't imagine them being, but if they're close to Penn State, I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm getting kind of excited here, and I'm nervous, and I'm wanting the second half to start. And I understand that there's going to be a break. It gives me an opportunity to just keep working those juices and being sure to stay glued in and tuned in. And if they were blowing out Penn State, which I imagine them doing in the first half, I hope they will. It'll be a tough game because you know, our offense is so good. It's one of the best in the country, but we're playing at Ohio State, so home team advantage. But we'll see. If Ohio State's blowing out Penn State, I'm intrigued because I want them to blow them out more. That halfway mark gives me as a fan an opportunity to, recalibrate, get that suspense going, listen to the commentary, listen to the opinions of, the analysts. Raw starts at 8 o'clock Eastern, my time, and it goes the whole time. There's no halftime, like there's no seventh inning stretch like baseball. There's no halftime like football and baseball, like football and basketball. There's nothing in the middle to give me an opportunity to reset. It's 3 hours of dragged out content every week, man. And you're doing variations of the same thing every week. That's the reason why people are going back or leaving. That's why people are leaving Raw. People are leaving Raw because they're not interested anymore, because it drags and it stretches really thin every week. The same story stretches out 3 hours non-stop. And I feel it every week. I get so tired. But by the time Legion Raw comes, granted, I'm working 4 hours. I'm analyzing Raw. I'm taking notes, and I'm working over an hour for Legion of Raw. So I'm working 4 hours in the evenings on Mondays. After working 8, I'm working about 4.5 because Vince and I, we debrief afterwards too. So I'm working about 12 and a half hours that day from therapists and podcaster work. I'm working about 12 and a half hours that day. So you better believe that I'm tired as crap. And Raw has drained me even more on top of being a therapist, which is a very draining job. I love it. I love it. I love it. I thank God every day that I'm blessed to be a therapist, because it's not, that's a job that's not for the weak at heart. It's a very, very specific job that not everybody could do. And so I'm thankful to God every day that He chose me to be in that role. And I'm so grateful for being a therapist. It's a draining and an exhausting job. And so I'm coming from that to Raw. That's draining me even more because it's such a long stretch every week for 3 hours long. It feels like that every week. And when I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh, Judgment Day again. Oh, damage control again. It feels long. Very long. Every week. Every week. Any new chill hop songs? A lot, man. I've got a lot. I listen to chill hop and Christian rap every day, man. You'd probably like Tall Black Guy. You'd probably like who else I got here? I got some bangers, man. Got some bangers, man. My dude Wes Harris. Wes Harris. You'd like Wes Harris. That's my guy. That's my guy. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff, man. Lots and lots of stuff. Actually, follow me on Spotify. Good segue. Follow me at Spotify on Spotify at Chris Prolific. All right. At Chris Prolific, you can see all my playlists. You can see all those things. Yeah, just follow me on Spotify. Chris Prolific. All right. At Chris Prolific. ChrisProlific. And then what you need to do is just go to the playlist, go ahead and like my playlist, and then any type of new songs and I update my playlist a lot. And so any new songs that you'll get, any new songs that I put on my playlist, you'll get notified. So go do that, my man. Appreciate that question. Dion, Raw is so bad because they don't push new stuff. We need a draft to mix stuff up. Also, I love to see Ray's wife and Vicky confront Ray and Dom. Yeah, that'll do a little bit better, but it's just like again, it's like we need just an injection. We need to inject a lethal dose of poison, like Vince McMahon said about the NWO. Here's my thing, man. We SmackDown was getting stale, and when Roman Reigns did his heel gimmick, been basically the face of SmackDown over the past 2 years, it has a breath of fresh air. It feels different. It feels large because Roman Reigns has been booked as a larger than life character. They need a larger than life character on Raw to inject it. That'll make it better, but it wouldn't make it substantially better because it's 3 hours long. Now, SmackDown recently did a 2.2. Raw did a 1.6. That's 200,000. I mean, that's 600,000 less viewers from Raw than it is from SmackDown, man. Almost 600,000 less viewers. I mean, come on now. Over 500,000 people watch SmackDown more than they watch Raw. And it's not about like, oh, I don't have USA. No, USA is super accessible, very popular network. And so, okay, over 500,000 people watch SmackDown more than Raw. Like, think about that for a second. Over 500,000 people watch SmackDown more than they watch Raw. So those 500,000 people know that they know Raw exists, but they don't watch it because they're not interested. And this is consistent. Like SmackDown blows Raw out the water every single week. Every week. They don't even compete with each other as far as ratings. Maybe Raw do a 1.8 and then SmackDown do a 2 or 2.1. So you're thinking like 2 to 300,000 viewers more. But that's still a lot. That still averages out to 250,000 people watches SmackDown more than Raw. That's a lot of people, man. Like, come on. I think we've already had this question, Elvis. I think we've already had this discussion. I think we've already had this discussion. I said no. You know what I'm saying? You said yes or yes. I'm gonna option C, which is no. Raw needs more God mode that will really improve things. I don't think it'll really improve things. I think it'll improve it a little bit, but Roman Reigns is super smart of like, look, I don't want to even get a stench. I'm a huge fan of bacon. It's like you can't wear outside like straight up. You can't go on a meeting on a Saturday morning. You got some type of business meeting, and then you're in a suit and tie. You can't go with that outfit after you've worn that outfit. Oh, let me get some breakfast real quick. No, you can't do that. You got to wear your jammy jams when you start cooking that bacon. You can't have your business clothes on, man, because you're going to leave the house and your business clothes with the stench of bacon. Although I love bacon and I love the smell of bacon, I'm not going to wear any business clothes when I'm cooking bacon because I don't want everybody else to know that I've just eaten bacon. That's how Roman Reigns feels about Raw. No, I'm good. I'm good. Like I'm cool. I'll stay on SmackDown. I don't need your stench on me. I don't want to be near you because I'll get my stench from being this large in life character because you'll bring me down. I'm cool. I'll stay on SmackDown. And now he's just part time basically. But yeah, I mean, and here's my proof. Roman Reigns has been the Raw's champion for almost 7 months. He's been Raw's champion for almost 7 months, and he's been on there a handful of times or less in 7 months, and he's Raw's champion. Raw doesn't even really have a world champion because the world champion doesn't want to come on Raw. That's how bad it is, man. That's how bad it is. Aaron said you made a good point last night with WWE and AEW are basically the same. They just go for pops and OMG moves. No storylines, just place talent out. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%, man. Because at the end of the day, like you're just looking for pops. That's what Triple H does, man. And I'm telling you, people are, oh my gosh, Triple H. Oh my gosh, Triple H, man. Triple H, man. He's doing so good. Man, he's just leaps and bounds different from Vince McMahon. I'm so glad Vince McMahon's gone, man. Oh my goodness. Triple H is just making it so much better. No, he's not, actually. He's not. He's not. There's so much similarities to Vince McMahon that is with Triple H. And at this point, there's even similarities with Tony Khan that I see in Triple H. You're bringing back Nikki Cross. Inherently not a bad idea, okay? Inherently not a bad idea. Bringing back Nikki Cross isn't the issue to me. Nikki Cross is a decent talent. She's a good talent. When she was with Sanity, she was the crazy chick character. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Even Vince and I, we had a bit of a disagreement. I'm cool with it. I'm cool. This was weeks ago when we were talking about Nikki Cross. I'm cool with it. But here's the issue, though. Come on, y'all, listen. You've already given me a 3-hour show. And you end it with Nikki Cross? Now, you could have brought Nikki Cross in the beginning of Raw, an hour 2 hours and 8 minutes into the show, 2 hours and 23 minutes into the show. But you have the credits come on with the watermark, and the last person we see is Nikki Cross. Okay. Horrible idea. And that's not fair for Nikki Cross, too. Because I like Nikki Cross. That's not fair for Nikki Cross, man. Because you're putting so much on her without developing her as a character and a talent. That's terrible. That's a terrible. And the thing is, the Charlotte crowd was super flat when she came in, and they're like, I don't care. I don't care. A non-reaction is worse than getting a opposite reaction in professional wrestling. Like Seth Rollins is getting like cheered now, which I can't stand, because if you're going to be a heel, be a heel. Otherwise, you're taking it away. It's selfishly taking it away from the baby face when you're supposed to make the baby face look better. But I mean, man, oh man. Nikki Cross. It's not fair for her, man. It's not fair. And then she beat up Bianca Belair and then she beat up Bailey. What, make up your mind. What are you doing here? What are you doing? And then they're doing that just to probably make her lose at Crown Jewel. It'll probably be a triple threat match. It'll probably be Bianca, Nikki, and Bailey at Crown Jewel, which you better not win that title. Oh man, it'll be horrible. And in Bianca Belair's, momentum with that, that's horrible. So what's going to happen? Most likely, it'll be Bianca, Bailey, and Nikki Cross at Crown Jewel, and then Nikki Cross will lose her first match as Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross again, back as Nikki Cross again. That's 50-50, ladies and gentlemen. Horrible. Good for you, Dion. You're the new intellectual savior of the masses. Waiting for the Dom and the masses. THEMASSES. If you say that together, you can misplace the M and make it seem like it's condescending. I'm waiting for the Dom and Rhea wedding. He'll be known as Dom Ripley. That would be very interesting. I disrespect the WWE by saying they're the same as AEW. Nothing is as bad as AEW's torture. Raw is. Yeah, no, I think I actually complimented WWE by saying they're is the same as AEW. They both aren't good. AEW is not that bad though. AEW is not that bad. I have a lot of criticisms with AEW. A lot of criticisms with AEW. But if I had the choice to watch Dynamite or Raw, Dynamite hands down. And I'm not a big fan of AEW. I don't watch Rampage. Rampage just I lost my interest in Rampage. I haven't watched Rampage consistently. I watch it every night, like bits and pieces, but I haven't watched a full Rampage show in months. I mean, like I stopped watching Rampage probably 3 or 4 months ago because I just was like, man, I'm wasting my time here. Like I don't see. I get paid to watch wrestling. I get paid to watch Raw, and I get paid to watch episodes of popular wrestling shows for my other shows. So, Riding with Russo and the Wrestling Outlaws with EC3. I'm watching wrestling to school them and to school to as a journalist, is basically research. So I'm gathering the information. One of the best forms of journalism is to speak as if the viewer doesn't know exactly what you're saying. Like you can't assume that the viewer knows everything about the topic. So that's the reason why it's good to do the lead. That's the reason why it's good to set the table, especially for like Vince Russo, who only watches Raw. He stays connected with all the other things. EC3 barely watches anything. He's starting to watch it a little bit more now, and so it's good for me to set the table for them to understand. So by doing that, I watch the products. I watch AEW, I watch WWE as a podcaster and a journalist. It's good for me to do that. However, Rampage does nothing for my work as a podcaster. There's nothing that Rampage does for me to watch it. Like I don't need it for work. Like it's just useless. I don't need it. Dynamite is good for me to watch for work. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting paid to talk about wrestling and talk about latest news and things like that. Even watching pay-per-views is cool for me as a journalist and a podcaster. It's good for me to do. But watching NXT or Rampage, useless. Useless. And so I don't do it anymore because it's wasting my time. I'm very big on time. I have a lot to do. I'm a super busy person who's really big on using time elsewhere if I don't need to. And Rampage and NXT is just nah. It's nothing for me. I don't need to watch it, so I don't. Elvis said that Dom is the new Latino Heat. He should start coming out and lowrider. Can you feel the heat? That would be interesting. This heel Dom, it feels so forced. It feels so forced. Good question. If you can say one positive thing about today's wrestling, what would that be? Much love to you. By the way, go check out Majestic Marie and Laura Presley, Tina and Sarah on the Peaches and Power Bonds podcast. I was just on their show last week, and it was released today. So go subscribe to Peaches and Power Bombs, and you'll see my interviews about an hour, and a little less, about an hour though. And we talk about mental health and pro wrestling, and the overlap between the two in many cases. So go check that out. One positive thing about today's wrestling, Roman Reigns. That's the positive thing about today's wrestling. I think Roman Reigns stands out among the crowd as a star. I think Roman Reigns stands above. He is the epitome of transcending the business. And I think the WWE has done a fantastic job with keeping Roman Reigns as champion for 26 months as Universal Champion, almost 7 as WWE Champion. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You don't have it lowers someone's credibility if they keep losing, winning, losing, 50-50, winning, losing. There's no 50-50 records that are successful in any sport. Maybe in an NFL, if your division sucks, maybe in a rare chance you can squeeze by with an 8-8 record. Sometimes 9-7 if your division's terrible. But that's not normal. That's not normal, but it's possible. But normally, no other sport can you get in with 50-50. And the March Madness, if some no-name conference get into a play-in game and they won their conference at uh 15-17 or 15-18 or something like that, maybe, I mean, but at the same time, it's a really, really difficult chance to win. I mean, it's historically it's impossible. It is a possibility if you're in there, but hasn't happened. So there's no other sport that allows success at 50-50, like average. Like I have an average record, and I'm being plugged to being among the top in the league. That's a bad league if you have an average record and is among the top. It's a bad league. SmackDown stands above the rest in any of professional wrestling because SmackDown is led by someone who doesn't lose matches. That's what I can respect. That's traditional wrestling. Hulk Hogan barely lost. Steve Austin barely lost. The Undertaker barely lost. They are among the top ever. And they didn't lose much. They definitely wasn't no 50-50 mess. So I definitely think that Roman Reigns is the best thing about professional wrestling, the way that they booked him over the past couple years. MJF, his promo, his mic work as a heel is fantastic too. Although he's starting to like the whole babyface thing. I don't think MJF should be a babyface yet. I think that he should win the title as a heel to put over a new, really good babyface. To make a babyface like stand out. Moxley's had his time as a babyface. Daniel Bryan versus MJF at like Revolution or something like that. He'll probably win the match at Revolution. But say, next year, Double or Nothing or something like that. I'm cool with a babyface Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson versus a heel MJF. Or if you want to bring Wardlow back in the fold, what the heck's happened with him? He was the hottest thing going in AEW for a second as a babyface, and man, it goes to show what bad booking does and having a bunch of people on the show. But MJF's doing his thing, so kudos to him. Keep it heelish though, like when he had the Bills, when he was in Buffalo, he cheered. He had the jersey on, and just like that, he switched them around. I would encourage him to keep doing that, to keep getting that heat, because whomever you're going to, whoever the baby face is, you're helping them out by getting that heat. And he's good at that too. So yeah, absolutely. Ricky thought the Attitude Era was the best time in wrestling. It created so many stars, and most people watched it back then. Oddly enough, the booker there was the person you just criticized, which was, I mean, with the head writer there was the one you criticized was Vince Russo. Vince Russo was the head writer. That didn't make sense. That didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. They wanted to make her some type of crazy chick. Like, so I'm going to attack the heel and the face. I'm going to attack the baby face and help the heel win. And then I'm going to attack the heel. Like, come on, man. And then at the end, you're just like, I'm so mad. Why? I don't know. I'm just so mad. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, Dion. I'm here for it. Just a couple of weeks left. A couple of weeks from now. I think that we're in week 7 if I'm wait. Week 7, I believe, right? Yeah. So this is 7. This will be 8 this coming weekend, and then it's Titans Chiefs. 30th anniversary of Raw in January. Do I think the Rock shows up? I wouldn't bank on it. If anything, he would make a cameo, but Rock is known for SmackDown. Rock's a SmackDown guy, though. They came up with the name. Texans were leading the Raiders last Sunday, and then the Raiders scored 20 plus by Josh Jacobs in the second half. Yeah. So the Texans, they know how to blow games. They know how to blow games. The AEW investigation being resolved. Do you happen to have any behind the scenes information on what really happened with Punk Omega Young Bucks? Yeah, I talked about the Young Bucks situation on my Pancakes and Powerslams show, as far as like what's going on with that. There's just so many things that I've heard. There's some things I'm trying to dig up. Yeah, it's just so much. There's just so much stuff going on with that I was getting some source about what happened. And Kevin Nash, he said that one of the people, he's friends with people backstage, and he said someone told him this, and just there's a lot. It's a lot. Vince McMahon's job was his life. That's the reason why he started to look very old over the past, several years. He looks like sad now, unfortunately. Fillers after fillers. Yes, absolutely. Niche means to a specific crowd or audience. It's very specific to a certain audience or crowd. Just because it's called wrestling doesn't mean it's going to get more ratings, and it hasn't. It's gotten worse, actually. Shames got written off because he's getting married. Sheamus? Oh, Sheamus. I think that's what you mean, Sheamus. Oh, that's cool. Congrats to him. Did I pin that cricket last week? That was a few weeks back, and it was it was in the crack of my door, and it's not there anymore. So probably because it was cold a few days in Columbus area, and I loved it because when it's cold, you don't hear crickets. Crickets love this type of weather. I love this type of weather but so do crickets. And so like crickets are really big in this type of weather. Right now it's um 50 60 right now, and where I'm at 60 degrees. So crickets love that weather, and so do I. But if I'm in my office, I'm hearing. But the cricket that was hanging out on the ledge of my door, the bottom of my door, in the crack of my door, um, it's not there anymore. So thank God. But there was one right outside my window because I was prepping for the show, and there was one right outside my window, probably on the windowsill. That's how close I can hear it. But I can tell if it's in my office or out of my office. It was like right outside my office, and I was hearing. I'm like, oh gosh, what a what an annoying sack of nothing. Cool. All right. Let's see what else we got. Seamus, I found out that he's been written off because he's getting married. Cool. Good for him. Good for him. Good for him. Good for him. You like what I just did there? Oh, the slow motion. um, I have a voice. I have a soundboard in front of me that could modulate my voice.
Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice.
Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my voice. Could modulate my. I love this thing. Super fun. Super fun. Super fun. Ricky loves damage control. They can be every segment as far as I'm concerned. They're super hot. So basically, think of this logic here. If you were riding Raw, okay, yeah, let's have damage control in every segment because they're super hot. The ratings will go down the tubes because they're on a lot of segments. And just because you like them doesn't mean everybody else does. So that would make you a poor rider. So kudo, hey, if you like damage control, do it. They're not doing their job because they're heels if you like them. But at the same time, I'm not sold on damage control, that's for sure. I'm definitely not going to. There's a lot of very nice looking people in the wrestling world that I'm not going to like them if not, just because they're attractive. That sound like the sound from Bueller. I try to watch Raw with my brother every week, and he doesn't make it past the first hour. I'm glad we got 3 TVs to watch. Yeah, come on now. Yikes. This is so long. So long. Good question, Elvis. Last time I had short hair. Elvis, you ask some good questions, man. I love your random questions you ask. The last time I had short hair was 2000 and probably because I had braids before I had locks. I started twisting my hair in like 2000. I had really short twists in around 2000. And then I went to swim, and then the twist just kind of got real coarse, and it was like a kinky fro type of deal, so it was growing out a bit, and then I started to get braids, and like 2000, 2001. So I started to get braids. So I had braids for years, and I locked my hair up I locked my hair up about 05. So yeah, I've been had short hair and 20 plus years. Yeah. I usually cut it. Like in June area, like in June of last year, I cut it like 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches, and it was like here, but it's grown back again to that's in the ponytail now, but it's grown back to the middle of my back again. My hair grows really fast. Brian didn't watch last night because he was installing a garage door opener for my daughter. Good for you, Brian. Good for you. Much better choice. Can again hashtag ask doc. Looks like Wadio. Are you new? We acknowledge we give some love to the newbies. Let me know if you're new on here. Hashtag ask doc. That's going to stick it up. What are you doing for Halloween? What will the kids be doing Halloween? We really don't do Halloween, but we will maybe pass out. Well, we're going to be doing like trunk or treats and stuff like that. There's going to be trunk or treats, but that's probably it. Maybe pass out candy with some scriptures on it. Did anyone care about the DX reunion on Raw a couple weeks ago or any time they did reunions? Vince and I, we talked about that. Having them close the show. I mean, what's up with these show closers? On the third hour, do you just not care? Like, does it get to the point where you're just like, most people was tuned out anyways. Let's just fill it in. I mean, that's kind of how it feels. Bring back Eva Marie, have her beat Bianca, I would be happy. That's where you lost me right there. I like Eva Marie, but yeah, you're trying to sabotage the women's division by doing that. If that were to happen, build up Eva a lot as a character before. You can't just have someone come in characterless, basically, or barely has a character, and just beat someone you're trying to give momentum to. That's the reason why wrestling's in the crapper right now. It's all this, hey, let's just have this person beat this person and see how it goes. Nope. That's why they're in the crapper now. The LC are looking for a woman for Rhea. Nikki and Rhea have a pass, but they put her in the title pictures, and she's going to lose. Exactly. It makes a lot of sense for them to. I was thinking about that too. Great point. I was thinking about the same thing. Why didn't they just bring Nikki Cross back as the female who basically is opposite Rhea Ripley in the feud, and they could have a 4-on-4 match, mixed tag. Whoa! Doesn't that ring Survivor Series to you? Got it. Raw's levels above AEW. He has a former WWE rejects. On Raw, everyone's a star because they are WWE. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. No. Everybody's a star because they're on a no. That sounds like a Mark comment, honestly. That everyone's not a star because they're in WWE. If everyone was a star, they would show it in the ratings, and they don't actually. They don't by any stretch. No. What's up? Gotta go now. Go take a shower. Good stuff, man. Get you some grub in the shower. Jimmy, I think it's the end. The brand split. Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Raw weekly. See, the thing is with that though, there can't be a brand split because you literally have two different networks. And if you can't store it's just too much talent. I think they should keep the brand split. Because I don't want SmackDown. I don't want anything to be diluted from SmackDown by Raw. Not even close. Tina, do me a favor, put a link up for Peaches and Power Bombs. MJF is better than Roman Reigns. Interesting. Saying MJF sucks, Guido is precisely the point. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Miz is a babyface or heel currently. One of the problems these days is no true definition between the two. He's a baby. He's a heel. He's definitely a heel. One of the problems these days is no true definition between the two. Yeah, I mean the distinction sucks. I mean look with Seth Rollins. So yeah, indeed. Again, Axe Doc. Oh man, there's a hey, listen. What's up, like PNP Nation? Get this guy here. My taste in wrestling. Why am I on my Facebook feed? Because my show happens every week. Who is this guy? Some guy, and then you comment right after. That makes you a mark, man. Let me delete this comment, man. You don't have to come back on my show anymore. That's not what we do here on P. That's not the vibe that we do here on PNP. That's for sure. We take marks away for sure. And just because I have a different taste of wrestling, that doesn't mean it sucks. I've been watching wrestling for 36 years. I understand what positive what positive wrestling means, what successful wrestling looks like, because I've been watching for 3 decades here. So the wrestling that we have now is because people are saying my taste of wrestling sucks, because I appreciate characters. I appreciate good storytelling. That's what's missing in wrestling. Therefore, wrestling sucks because the ratings show. Here we have Mark saying, "Oh man, your taste of wrestling sucks because it makes too much sense, and we want to stay here in this bubble. And anybody who doesn't like our taste of wrestling, they are terrible people." All right. So, all right, let me my wife ever hollered at me for she doesn't holler at me. My wife. Nah, I don't allow that. Plus, my wife has a strong personality, but and I appreciate that in her. But I have a very strong personality. And she's super supportive. So yeah, I have a very supportive wife. The only good thing about Raw is JBL, and I don't even want him to be around actually. And JBL's gold. I think Corbin's just diluting JBL. JBL's gold. If they had DX, Edge, Mysterio Weekly and Raw, would be way more entertaining. Some people would actually watch a bunch of Legends Weekly, actual current roster. They would watch a bunch of Legends Weekly, but that would just get stale very fast, though. That would get stale very fast because they won't be able to wrestle, and so there wouldn't be any storylines or anything. What made me choose the name Peach and Powerbomb? I didn't choose it. That would be something you would have to ask Dina. Point of moving Ray SmackDown. There's not going to be Ray versus Dominic feud. I think it's to eventually bring them back together. That's what I think it is. Yes, it would come up. It would. So, all right, y'all. Can I see WWE making the best for business move and re-signing Punk? If so, in what capacity? I can. I do. Yeah, for sure. I can see. I can see him having like a come back home, send off type of deal. For sure. The Spotify is at Chris Prolific, Aaron. So yeah, I can definitely see them bring it back. Hey, Swan Song, and then maybe a coach, maybe a promo coach for NXT to help out Shawn Michaels. I can definitely see that happening. Yeah, Pat McAfee was fantastic on SmackDown. Fantastic on SmackDown. But he's really good on College Game Day too. I'm a college football mark. He's doing a really good job on College Game Day. So actually, I enjoy watching College Game Day. All right, these didn't go this far, but there's some really, really good questions, y'all. On Spotify is at Chris Prolific. Same as that there. See that? Underneath my name. That's my Spotify information too. All right. I think Dominic's saying he's a Generation Negro. It's the start of the Ray Dom feud. Ray will take offense to that comment. I don't know if he's taking offense to that comment. I think they'll probably see each other at the Royal Rumble. That's probably when they'll meet up again. And then they'll start maybe he'll Dominic eliminate Ray, or Ray eliminate Dominic or something like that, and then they'll start something. It's probably how it's going to go. It's time to go. Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. Episode 552 is in the books for you. Once again, I'll get some information for you and let you know. Ask me that question next week. Thank you, Ricky. Good night to you too. Good night, Ian. PNP. I'll see you later. I'll see you later.